I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call?
Yes.
All right.
Wonder Gem.
Here.
Hybor.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine, yes. Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Jahan.
Here.
Van Eck.
Here.
All right, fantastic. Please note, as a courtesy to members of the audience, the Board of Education, please silence your cell phone. Public will only be able to speak during public comment if signed up. Do we have any forms? Thank you, Mr. Merkel. First item, approval of agenda.
So
Can I-
moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Consent action agenda. Can I get a motion?
moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
There can't be any.
Oh, thank you. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? All right. On to 3A, the Microsoft Microsoft licensing agreement. My apologies. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the Microsoft licensing contract at a cost of $32,140.02 through CDW-G, an approved REMC vendor. In addition to Microsoft licenses, this contract includes 6 Microsoft Data Center server licenses. Can I get a motion?
Support.
And Ralph's here to tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is the renewal of the district's Microsoft licensing agreement. This is a licensing agreement that allows the district to run basically any quantity of the Microsoft Windows operating system. Obviously, we also run Microsoft Windows Server OS on our server infrastructure. So essentially, the renewal of this is licensing for almost 1,000 Windows devices that our teachers are using in the classroom, and then all of our server infrastructure as well.
And Walt, this is an annual contract.
So this is an annual contract. This was last brought to you, I believe, in 2022. At that time, we did a 3-year agreement. When this came up for renewal this time, Microsoft unfortunately is not offering a multi-year discount / agreement, so there wasn't any advantage to renewing this for a multi-year contract this time, unfortunately.
Do you think it's because they've pushed everything to the cloud with this software?
It might be partly that they're trying to encourage things to migrate to the cloud. You know, there's pros and cons to that. I like to have some of the critical stuff in-house. For example, our phone system, I like to keep that infrastructure in-house so that if something does happen to the internet connection, you can still manage it. But, as things, the way of the world is everything's going to the cloud. So that might contribute to the pricing a little bit here. But because this is more local workstation licensing and local server infrastructure licensing, that's not a huge factor.
So does this represent a decrease then?
So the renewal last time was, I believe, right around $30,000. So it's a slight increase from last time.
Less than most things.
Yeah, everything's going up these days, so that's, all in all, it's not too bad.
Any other discussion? How much is the Microsoft universe? I know we use a lot in Google, right? We do a lot in the Google space. Mm-hmm. How much of Microsoft, is there any measure to be able to see how much of that world is being used beyond Windows? How much of
what quantity, how often is Microsoft
Yeah.
products being used in the district? Well, so as I mentioned, all of our teacher workstations are all Windows devices. All of our administration, all of that is all Windows devices. And all of our server infrastructure, for the most part, is all running on Windows Server OS. So.
Okay.
From a safety aspect, I'm glad you keep some of that stuff in-house.
Yeah.
Stuff, it's very important. So I appreciate
with
that.
things like all of the ransomware and stuff
Yep.
that's happening these days, there's some advantage to just keeping some stuff close.
You're smart for that, Walt. Thank you for that.
There's no other discussion? Can we get a roll call vote?
Hybor.
Yes.
Steffes.
Yes.
Gardine, yes. Jahan.
Yes.
Palmer.
Yes.
Van Eck.
Yes.
Wonder Gem.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right.
Thanks, Walt.
Reports and discussion. 4A East Elementary presentation.
Yes, so very excited to have East Elementary with us here today, and Mrs. Walthy will turn things over to you.
If it's okay and I'm loud, I'm going to stand here because I don't want to turn back to your audience. I'm Ann Waldy, principal of East Elementary. Thank you for spending your evening here, community. Thank you, board. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, family, for being here to support Mr. Moore. You are so busy doing everything to support schools. I wanted to bring a little bit of East to you. So we made a locally sourced video from a high school student with some talent. I think he often gets asked to do video for sports stuff. So he created this video for us before break to give you a little snapshot. If you've never been to East, it's a great community school right down the road from Seamstress Bakery, so that's a good selling point. I feel like the number of donuts I bought in the last couple of years since I've switched over, this is year 23 in education for me, and I've loved being in Grandville this whole time, and so I find it funny that once upon a time I was a high school teacher. Percy's, love to see you here. Mrs. Bendick, I had your kids, and that now I love elementary world because I'm a parent myself, and it's just the joy in elementary is great to see. So we want to share a little bit about that, and then we have a unique club to East that was started with Mr. Moore. We have one of our members here, a brave third grader who has prepared some talking points, which I'm so proud of you, Keegan. And then we will wrap that up. So thank you again, and press play. I'll let you press. No, I'll let you press. I feel like I'll just touch that the wrong way. Elementary. Zoe, what's one of your favorite things about East?
In third grade, everybody can come together and have fun. My name is Liz Lady.
Liz Lady, what's the coolest thing you've learned recently?
The vision. I'm Victoria, and I'm in third grade.
Victoria, what's your favorite subject and why?
Math, because there's challenge makes it easy. My name is Omar, and I'm in third grade.
Omar, you are new here to East. So knowing this as a new student, what advice would you give to a new student coming to school here like you did this year?
I would say that school is fun and we have a lot of fun here. My name is Jackson. I'm in third grade.
And Jackson, what's something that you love about any teacher that you've had at East this year or in the past?
Mr. Stallings, he's like one of a kind and he makes things easy for us at school. My name is Kylie and I am in fourth grade.
Kylie, what's the coolest thing that you've learned recently? What's catching up? Welcome to East Elementary. Come on in.
I'm Zoe and I am in third grade.
Zoe, what's one of your favorite things about East?
In third grade, everybody can come together and have fun. My name is Liz Lady.
Lady, what's the coolest thing you've learned recently?
The vision. I'm Victoria, and I'm in third grade.
Victoria, what's your favorite subject and why?
Math.
Well, I used to be a sixth grade teacher at East Elementary, Mrs. Waldy, and East has a special place in my heart. And it is a very special school and a very special community, so we're glad that you're here. We'll get this figured out.
I know, and as we're ready for some tech too, we have 211 students at East, and there's 7 elementaries in Grandville. And it's just a nice, diverse population, but what I love about East the most is that people and kids are just who they are. They're just real. Like, there's nothing, like nobody's trying to be too fancy, too anything. Like you just are who you are, which is great. We house 2 of the ASD regional programs there, and kids embrace everybody. Like, we have friends who love, you know, different things and nobody questions it, and I appreciate that. We also have a lot of diversity in terms of, we have Muslim students, we have students who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and we have Christians, and we have just a wide variety, so there's just, you know, there's just a lot of people to meet and to get to know different cultures. And then there's something else I was going to say, I was so excited about all of this, but I think too that, you know, 211 students does not sound like a lot, but it makes us a close community, and I think people's attitudes at East, Mrs. Van Eck, which is what you appreciate, is just, we just work together. We
Yeah,
just
it's
come
a place for
together.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to add. Mrs. Boom is a secretary there. She is in year 32 of being a school secretary. Same building in one district. And her mother was a secretary before her. So,
Oh my God.
I know, but the institutional knowledge, the knowledge she has of every family who's walked through East in the last 32 years is amazing. So,
When I went to East, and the principal was Mr. Chrysler, and the secretary, Mrs. Phillips.
Oh,
So it was,
okay,
yeah, that's
right.
Patty's mom. Yeah.
because I used to go to her office a lot, because I would get a bloody nose.
Oh, for bloody nose.
We have some time, Brett.
Both my parents went to East also.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yes, all the
That is
histories, well, maybe, you know what, well, maybe we go backwards and we can talk to, because third grade, I don't know what your bedtime is, but I think my second grader goes to bed by 8, so get your roll in here. Yeah, no one. Yeah, so then I'll just introduce this while you kind of figure this out, but, so a new club to East is Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm gonna let them explain it, because I heard about it, I approved it, I thought it was great, but I was like, I still don't really know all the details of this, but the kids love it. And Mr. Moore, you're the one who introduced it. He's a new teacher to East, and it's just brought a lot of joy to kids doing extra things besides school. Like, they love to come to school to learn anyway, but it's also fun to get to know your teachers and students in different capacities. So then I'll let you say a little bit, and you can introduce our students.
Yeah, awesome. Like she said, I am Andrew Moore. I'm a third-year teacher over at East. I've spent all 3 of those years in second grade. Mrs. Waldy came in the middle of that first year, and it's been an amazing place to work. My first year, I didn't want to start anything new. I had just had my second child, and first year teaching, it was like, I'm not doing anything besides this, going home, going to sleep when I can. So last year, I had the privilege of starting a Dungeons and Dragons club. And if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, the first question I get is that elementary school game? Isn't that like a grown-up game or a teenage game or something? And Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game where the person who leads the game, the dungeon master, and then the players, they work together to tell a story. And the players can kind of change how that story unfolds. So as the dungeon master, I tell them what they see, what's available to them, and they tell me where they want to go in the world. And what's amazing about it is third and fourth graders, this club is for third and fourth grade, they get to explore a new world. And they get to try out things they've never tried before. If they're introverted, they get to pretend that they're not for 2 hours on a Wednesday afternoon. They get to be a barbarian who bashes through doors and fights goblins, or a wizard who kind of stays back and protects their friends. What I love about it is it gives students who don't fit in other circles. So part of the purpose of this club was twofold. One was kind of self-serving. Growing up, I didn't play many sports. I was into games and music and imagination, and I always was captivated by this game and never got to play. So when I became a grown-up, when I grew up, I wanted to play it, and I was in the perfect spot to do it at a school of kids who love imagining new things. So that's the first purpose, was kind of self-serving because I love the game. But secondly, it gives kids a chance who were like me, who maybe didn't fit in other areas and wanted to try something new. And so this semester, our players, Keegan is one of them, got to explore the world of Feywild, which is full of wild magic and purple seas and sapphire crystals exploding out of the ground. And they were sent on this adventure to save the city where they're from. They played 5 heroes working to find this artifact to save the city. Along the way, they made a friend named Captain Jack who led them to find this artifact, and they became friends. And somewhere along the way, Captain Jack asked them, hey, when we're done with this journey, will you help me? My family's in trouble. They agreed, and at the very end, they brought the artifact back, which was supposed to bring stability to their city. And Captain Jack said, hey, actually what I need is that artifact. Will you still help me? Out comes the leader of the Heroes Guild, what they were trying to join, and says, hey, we are in desperate need. We need that artifact. Will you help me? And so it gives students a chance to face tough issues, to make difficult choices in a safe place. They had to decide, are we going to help the Heroes Guild and save our city? Or are we going to help Captain Jack and save his family? And each student needed to come up with the reason why they made the choice they made. And so for 20, 30 minutes, I think it was, we wrestled and figured out who should we support. Should we save our friend and his village who fought with us, protected us? We fought together. We saved people. We met new people together. Or should we give it over to the Heroes Guild? And in the end, Keegan, what did you decide? They gave it to a friend, somebody who they fought with, knowing that it would mean more danger for their own city. They decided to give it to somebody who they came to know as a friend. Unanimously, they each had to come up with that decision. And the group decided together as a team to rescue their friend and their family. And it gave each of them a chance then on the spot to come up with a speech. Hey, what do you say to the city? What do you say to the guy who you were going to help out and then decided to change your mind? And so on the spot, they had to come up with it. And they did amazing work. They faced puzzles. They faced challenges. They decided who to trust, who to keep their distance from. But all along the way, they worked together. They rolled some dice, and they made awesome decisions. And I'm going to invite Keegan up here, who won the award of Heart of the Dungeon Master. Keegan was somebody who, throughout the 8-week club, it happens twice a year, 8 weeks, he was somebody who always tried to encourage others, somebody who made room for other people, dived into his own character, making decisions not on how he thought he would, but how his character would make those decisions. And so he is, throughout the semester, working on creative writing, coming up with characters, backstories, what that character would do, their family members, who he was, but also working as a team. How are we going to work together to bridge this gap on the mountain road? It's crumbled into the sea. We need to get across together. Keegan was somebody who always left room for others' voices, who always made it an experience for everybody to feel included and welcome. So I'm going to invite Keegan up. I'm going to pull a chair over so you can reach the microphone. And Keegan prepared a little speech to you.
My name is Keegan Kelly. I am a third grader at East Elementary. I participated in Dungeons and Dragons at Dungeons and Dragons 12 at my school. I had lots of fun, and I got to hang out with my friends and my favorite teacher. You have to have patience because you have to wait your turn to battle, and you have to wait for the dungeon master to finish talking. When you are in battle, you have to think of your attack from the character that you chose. This club helps with your imagination because you need to think of different ways to battle. This club is for everybody, especially for people that have imagination, and is something you can do while you don't have sports going on or don't like sports.
It's been an honor to start this club last year, to be a part of it. Been working with some amazing students, and it's the students, the parents and families, and the staff is what makes East a wonderful place to be. That's all I have.
Awesome. As a former English teacher in high school, I thank you for creating, I just keep thinking about down the line. These are critical thinkers. These are kids who think in the gray. These are kids who are going to just be amazing. And I thought of how we have our podcast in the high school. I'm like, these are going to be our kids who are, so thank you, Mr. Moore, also for just, so great. I saw Kyle Anderson do game club at the middle school. I'm seeing you do this, and it's just such a great way to create compassionate, intelligent, creative kids. So, I'm gonna cry. Good job.
I happened to walk in to drop something off maybe that when you guys were deciding that, but you should have seen the agony on these third and fourth grade things, and I was like, what are they wrestling with? Because it wasn't a tough choice. So yeah, it was a great life skill, but also just a lot of fun too. And Katie, you did such a nice job of doing it in front of a bunch of people as well.
Right.
All right. Now we're looking well.
Try it again.
They're done to charge.
Had time to buffer. Good.
Welcome to East Elementary.
Come on in.
I'm Zoe and I'm in 3rd grade.
Zoe, what's one of your favorite things about East?
That in your grade, everybody can come together and have fun. My name is Riz Lady.
Lady, what's the coolest thing you've learned recently?
The vision. I'm Victoria and I'm in 3rd grade.
Victoria, what's your favorite subject and why?
Math, because the first drawings makes it easy. My name is Omar and I'm in 3rd grade.
Omar, you are new here to East, so knowing this as a new student, what advice would you give to a new student coming to school here like you did this year?
I would say that school is fun and we have a lot of fun here.
My name is Jackson. I'm in 3rd grade.
And Jackson, what's something that you love about any teacher that you've had at East this year or in the past?
Mr. Stallings, he's like one of a kind and he makes things easy for us at school.
Hi, my name is Kylie and I am in 4th grade.
Kylie, what's the coolest thing that you've learned recently?
How to do long division. Hi, my name's Calvin and I'm in 4th grade.
Calvin, what's your favorite subject and why?
Math. It just always fascinated me. Hi, my name is Zay. I'm in 4th grade.
Isaiah, what's something you love about a teacher here this year or in the past? Any teacher?
Miss Maven, because she's kind and she helps me with a lot of stuff. My name is John and I go to 4th grade.
And John, who is your visitor?
Oh, Chunky. The school mascot.
The school, their classroom mascot.
Yeah.
John, what would you tell a new student coming to East? What to expect from our school?
Every place is green except winter because there's a lot of coats everywhere. I'm Jaden and I'm in kindergarten.
Jaden, what's something that you love about Mrs. Coleman?
And I like Mrs. Coleman because she's nice.
Hi, I'm Mr. Moore. I teach 2nd grade at East, and one of the things I absolutely love about East is the staff environment. We're a team that works together for the betterment of our students and each other, and it's a fantastic place to work. The families are amazing, the students are amazing, the leadership is amazing. It's a great place to work. And one of the most rewarding things about being a teacher is seeing students grow from the beginning of the year to the end when they have those aha moments, when they learn something new that they didn't think they were going to be able to learn. It's a great feeling to see a student achieve something they didn't think they could when I knew they could all along.
Hi, my name is Alexis Lefevre. I am a 2nd grade teacher at East Elementary, and I really enjoy my job here. So one of the most important values I like to have my students learn in 2nd grade especially is just the value of hard work. That even if they aren't the smartest kid in the class, that if they are working hard and that they are trying their best, they are succeeding in everybody's eyes.
My favorite thing about teaching at East is the community we have here. Our school is one of the smaller schools in Grandville, but we have amazing community. We have so much diversity in our families, in their cultures, in the different religions, and I just love getting to know all the kids every year, getting to know their families, and then year after year having their siblings come through the building. Our community and the families here are my favorite thing.
My name is Anne-Marie Fales, and I teach first grade at East Elementary. And the most rewarding part of my job is seeing all the growth in my first graders, especially from the beginning to end of the year. Watching them grow as independent readers and mathematicians is really super rewarding.
Oh, hi, my name is Mrs. Coleman, and I teach kindergarten at East. My favorite thing about East is the families and the staff work really well together.
The most rewarding part of my job, honestly, is knowing that I have a job that can allow me to have a direct, honest, and lasting impact on my students. That's what's up.
Hi, my name is Sarah Trull, kindergarten at East Elementary, and the most rewarding thing is the colleagues that I work with here at East Elementary. Everybody is so supportive, and when it's a hard day, we bring each other up.
My favorite part about working with my colleagues is that they make me laugh when the day is hard.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Galdis. I teach 4th grade at East Elementary.
And I'm Mr. Staggs. I teach 4th grade also at East Elementary. I love teaching 4th graders. They are so inventive and creative, and they have wonderful things to contribute.
Hi, I'm Carla Shaner, and I teach music at East Elementary, at South Elementary, and Oakstown Intermediate School. And one of my favorite things about being at East Elementary is that all of the staff and students really are like a family, and everyone supports each other, and we all work together for the good of the students and to maximize learning and fun and also just engagement, and that's very rare and special in a building, so I feel really lucky to be here.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Hauser, Math Intervention Specialist here at East. One of the things I love about East, especially, is the sense of collective efficacy that we have in this building. So in math, we rallied around the idea of fact fluency in 2021, right after COVID sort of died down and we were all back in the building. And we discovered that we could really make a difference if we all worked together to improve fact fluency in our district and in our building. And that has spilled over building-wide to have this like collective sense of working toward a math goal. One of the ways we do that here at East is by our Reflex fact fluency competition that we have with other buildings in the district. So East, West, and Central, we compete every year for the Krabby Trophy, which is currently at West, but we're going to run it back. So here we are, and we have weekly updates and just kind of tracking our progress. All the teachers are bought in, all the kids are bought in, and we are moving the needle. And that is one of the best things about East, is that everybody is ready to do whatever it takes and work together.
So thank you for stopping and visiting East virtually, and of course, we will always invite you in. March is Reading Month, readers are always welcome, but even, beyond that, you are always welcome. Community, same thing too, you're always welcome to come visit. It's a great, great school. And thank you for thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. And with no public comment, The next board meeting of the, I'm sorry.
One more.
I'm sorry. We have one more. Oh, eyes, through and pause, sorry. Yes, the fun one.
John thought he was.
You ready to back up and go?
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So, as you know, like with Neola, Troon, we adopted Troon's policies, and like Neola, there are revisions from time to time. And today, John's going to hit the key points of the revised piece that we have that is shared with you. So take it away, John.
So the kind of the table, it's 7 pages of policy revisions. Troon gives us that piece of it. And then from there, I take that and I look at both the current policy, the old policy, and what you'll notice in there, in the packet of documents that you've received is I put it in yellow and strike through. So yellow is an add and a strike through is obviously a deletion. So as you look at some of those things, a lot of the policy that you see is that first top cell where Troon defines parents and guardians as a parent in their policy. And so rather than doubling up and saying parent and guardian in all those places, they revised it to just say parent. So 2201, I think, is your first policy that you see. You'll notice there are a few places where there's a yellow P and a strike through. But all of those policies are in there because some of them have some additional pieces inside of that. The second sheet that I kind of had on top just gave some of, I think, what are some of the high points or the bigger moves from a policy standpoint. You'll remember that the 3115 was the policy that we adopted in August under non-discrimination, anti-harassment, non-retaliation. What you'll notice as you look at 4101, 4102, 4104, and 5202 is that there will be some significant changes to those because what the new law tells us is that we need to treat and investigate harassment similarly across the board. So what they did is they took the employee non-discrimination, employee anti-harassment, the complaint procedure for employees, and then unlawful discrimination under the student section, and reference it back to the investigative practices in 3115. Because 3115 covers any and all non-discrimination, any and all anti-harassment. So you'll see some big changes in 4101, 4102, 4104, and 5202. Lots of strike through and a little bit, in some cases, a little bit more yellow, but some yellow that are the adds there. On the contracts and evaluations, just underneath of that, that was the new laws that came out related to the evaluation scores for all administrators, teachers, and the superintendent, so from 4 ratings down to 3 ratings. That law also includes the ability for teachers, administrators, and superintendents, if they should need to appeal an evaluation that they receive. So when you look at that and it says they're now effective, developing, or needing improvement, as opposed to highly effective, effective, minimally effective, ineffective. It's a 3 rating system, but there's also an appeal process and some required written feedback. We were already doing the required written feedback. We were doing that as a part of our process to begin with, so that's not new to us. And we have in the past opened up when a teacher would say to us, hey, like, can you help me understand this evaluation? We would sit down with that teacher and with the principal and talk through what was scored, what wasn't scored, and it wasn't necessarily an appeal of it, but we did spend some time working through that. So a lot of that's not significantly different, except that we need to make sure that we're adhering to those written feedbacks and providing that other piece. And then the new policies, like the pregnancy and the workplace accommodations, that was embedded in 4105 above it. They just pulled it out and just made it its own policy. So that's not really new language, but they just kind of pulled it out, made it its own policy. The religious workplace accommodation is new. It's a pretty standard workplace accommodation policy that if somebody based on their religious practices needs an accommodation, we're required to do that. We are using generative artificial intelligence. A lot of our teachers are using it to help write lesson plans, and our kids are using it, sometimes in the right way, sometimes in the wrong way. So we really need to make sure we not only have a policy for that, but also are doing our work to help train that. And our high school started doing a really, really good job with that, but this brings the policy part of that into play. Threat assessment and response policy, that one is also new. It's required by law for us to have that. Just so, Joe, you here, I talked with both Mark and then Jason Glarum, who helps lead our BTAM, which is the Behavior Threat Assessment Team. If we have a threat to our school or to another student, we go through an entire process where there's a screener and then a full evaluation and sometimes an outside evaluation and support and all of those things. So the wording that we used in here is actually a little different than what Troon gave us. So I had some wording, gave it to Mark and Jason. They said we should do this because this is what it looks like in our documentation for our team. Sent it to Troon. Troon said, yep, that makes sense. It doesn't change the legality of what's there. So that language is a little shifted from what the original Troon policy is. And then the student oral health assessment, I don't know if you saw that. Law was passed, gosh, I think a year ago. Similar to like a vision screen or vaccinations or all those things for a student coming into kindergarten. They need to have an oral health assessment. Nobody in Kent County is really following along with that yet because it's all based on what your health department can manage. And the health department right now can't manage an additional health assessment or who does or who doesn't have that oral health assessment for the county. So at this point, we're talking to our families about that and working through it, but it's not a barrier to enrollment. And you'll see in that policy that there are ways that you can say, you know what, I'm not doing that. And the school will go, okay. Because there are some pieces in there where the parents can say, yeah, I'm not jumping into that one.
And that's just at the kindergarten year, right?
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, those were some of the, obviously the new policies and what I thought were kind of some of the big ones. So I know it's the first time you're seeing all of it. It's only 190 sheets.
This is like a third of the Troon ones.
Yeah. Well, and a big part of it is the parent and guardian piece. They flipped a lot of that out. And then there were some places where, like the 2303, like where they say which action may include adopting, like they took that out and they just put in like 2 words beside it, right? So they're not significant changes in a lot of those places. So I tried to highlight the ones that I thought would be kind of more significant so you can review those as you go through. And if you have questions on what that says, I mean, I've gone over it. I didn't write it, but I can certainly try to seek answers as answers may need to come. So my role in it was to try to make it as simple as I could for you to see where the differences were and to be able to ask those questions coming into the second reading. So,
John, I appreciate the highlighting and striking out. That's perfect. So it makes breezing through this document easier.
Yep.
If we have suggestions on wording, is that something that we should submit to you?
Yeah, probably, because then I'd shoot it right over to our attorney, and then obviously as a board you would have to make that determination coming back. But if I have that language, we can obviously discuss that in a second reading and figure out where that needs to land. I just want to make sure, like with the threat assessment, making sure that what we wrote didn't change the legality of the policy. So as long as it doesn't change the legality of it, they'll work with us because they've done that before. I mean, they did it with the number of readings for a policy when we shifted that. So other questions that you might have, at least initially?
They're clean.
What's that?
The policies are very clean, John.
Yeah.
Nice.
So again, we'll have you take some time, look at these, and then we'll bring them back to you next time for a second reading. If you have any questions in the meantime, to run through something, please contact John or myself.
And they won't be voted on until the third meeting.
No,
that-
we'll have a second reading and
Yes.
then an approval, if everything
if it's
checks
good,
out.
okay.
If people say, you know,
Okay.
not yet, then we could always
Okay.
do that the following meeting, yes.
Yep, 'cause
We
we've
do
done
have
that in
that
the past, too.
flexibility.
Yep, we've done that in the past too.
And that's when everything is communicated to staff and the admin
Yeah,
at each
so
building?
the next step is once approved, whatever revisions have been approved, I go back into the documents, take out the yellow, delete the strike through, upload it into Board Book. So the current iteration of our policies is in Board Book online, searchable, findable. But once that's all said and done and it's findable for folks, then we say, hey, we've got some new stuff here, some of the highlights of the new things. We typically start with our principals and have them explain it at a board, or at a, not a board meeting, at a staff meeting.
Are there ones in particular that you, as the administration, would feel that they especially need to clarify to their staff?
From the new ones that are here,
Right.
not necessarily.
Okay.
It's really not a whole lot different than what they've already heard. It just, like, this just cleans up a lot of the language around some of
Yeah.
the pieces that are there.
Okay.
So,
And if we, Sally, if we do believe they really need to hit it hard, hit home with it, we're very clear with them when we review with them. We say, you really need to make sure your staff gets this, understands it. If they have any questions, let us know. But yeah, so we really emphasize that if we go, ooh, this is a big one.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
yeah.
All right. No other reports or discussion. The next board meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Grandville Administration Building. We are adjourned.